General Zorvac of the Dominion had fought in 100 campaigns across a dozen star systems. He had broken empires, enslaved species, and burned colonies into ash. He had earned his title not through cunning, but through the sheer terror his name carried. To most of the galaxy he was the definition of inevitability. When Zorvac set his eyes on you, your world was already gone, and now he had set his eyes on Earth. The Council had warned him not to. Humanity, they said, was unruly but harmless, dangerous if provoked, but too primitive to matter. Yet Zorvac had heard whispers. Humanity's population was growing, their technology advancing in shadows, their colonies multiplying like weeds. He didn't believe in leaving weeds alone. Weeds were pulled out before they choked the garden. So he sent his fleets. They bypassed Earth's defenses, raided colonies, and most effectively took children, not just a few, but hundreds. Sons and daughters, dragged screaming from their homes, caged in transports, paraded through Dominion channels as proof of power. The galaxy expected Earth to break. Every other species had. When Zorvac held your children, you bent. But then the nightmares began. It started small. A Dominion supply line vanished without a trace. A patrol frigate was found adrift, its crew slaughtered with surgical precision. Then an outpost was found burning, its walls painted with words written in blood and fire. Earth remembers. Zorvac dismissed it at first as resistance fighters, desperate gnats thrashing against the inevitable. But then came the fleets. Human warships the Dominion hadn't even known existed emerged from hidden shipyards. They were not the fragile, outdated craft Earth had once begged the Council to approve. These were monsters of steel and fury, bristling with forbidden weapons. Dreadnoughts armed with rail cannons that tore through Dominion hulls like paper. Drone swarms that struck with the precision of a surgeon and the ferocity of wolves. Entire Dominion task forces disappeared in hours. Zorvac's admirals whispered that humanity had become something impossible. Then came the boarding actions. Zorvac's men sent desperate transmissions before they were cut off. Reports of black armored Marines tearing through Dominion vessels, of soldiers who fought like demons, of voices in the dark saying one phrase over and over: Earth's children are not yours. On the bridge of the Dominion flagship, Zorvac snarled as he watched the latest report. Human Marines had infiltrated a Dominion slave transport and freed not just their own but every child on board. Not one was left behind. The ship itself was left burning, its crew executed with precision. His claws dug into the armrest of his command chair. Find them, crush them, show these humans what it means to defy the Dominion. But the humans did not wait for him to strike. They came for him. The Dominion fortress world of Kravox had never fallen in centuries of war. Its orbital defenses were layered, its fleets immense, its armies countless. Yet in the dead of night, the human fleet arrived like a storm. They didn't attack the strongholds. They bypassed them, driving straight for the prison blocks where Earth's children were held. General Zorvac watched from his command spire as alarms shrieked across the planet. Human dropships fell like meteors, smashing into his most secure facilities. Marines stormed through with impossible speed, tearing through defenses that should have held for months. In the chaos, he received a live transmission. The image of a human appeared before him. Captain Adrian Cross, leader of the Vanguard, eyes sharp as blades, voice cold as ice. General Zorvac, Adrian said, we know what you've done. We know where you keep them, and we are coming. Every wall you build will tear down. Every guard you post will cut through. Every world you hide on will burn. You should have left our children alone. The transmission ended. Zorvac's breath caught in his throat, not because of the words, but because of the look in Adrian's eyes. There was no fear there, no hesitation, only the relentless certainty of a predator that had chosen its prey hours later. Zorvac's worst nightmare came true. Human Marines breached the prison spire. He watched from the upper decks as black armored figures carved through his elite guard like they were nothing. His soldiers fled, his officers panicked, and still the humans advanced, their voices echoing through the halls. Earth's children are not yours. They reached the cages. Hundreds of children, human and alien alike, were freed. The young rushed into the arms of their rescuers, tears and cries filling the corridors. Zorvac had seen many battles, but never had he seen such raw, unbreakable determination. The humans didn't fight for conquest. They fought for blood, for family, for vengeance. And vengeance was a fire that nothing could extinguish. Zorvac tried to flee, but the humans found him. The doors to his command chamber blew apart, and Adrian Cross stepped through, flanked by Maravey and Lewis Grant. Their rifles gleamed, their armor was stained with the blood of his soldiers, and their eyes locked on him like predators cornering prey. Zorvac bared his fangs. You dared to come here. You dared to defy me. Adrian's voice was steady, lethal. You dared to touch our children. That was your mistake. That was your end. The human Marines raised their weapons. Zorvac reached for his blade, roaring in defiance. But he never got the chance to strike. In seconds, the nightmare he had unleashed came for him, and the great general of the Dominion fell. His empire crumbled in the months that followed. Humanity hunted every slave den, every Dominion world that had profited from the stolen children. No longer did the galaxy see Earth as prey. They saw them for what they had become, monsters who did not stop, who did not forgive, who did not forget. In council chambers, delegates whispered the same truth in fear. To harm humanity's children was to invite extinction. To take what was theirs was to awaken a fury the stars themselves could not contain. On the bridge of the Vanguard, Adrian looked out at the wreckage of Cravath. Mara stood beside him, her nephew Gabriel clutching her hand. Lewis reported the numbers, every child accounted for, every cage broken. Adrian's voice was quiet, but it carried the weight of vengeance fulfilled. Let them remember this. Let them tell their children, and their children's children. Earth's children are not theirs, not now, not ever. And the galaxy trembled, because they knew it was true.